So you've already got started on your contractor license. You're going through the classes and studying. The second step of the whole process is registering your business. This is huge for a lot of contractors. So I'm going to go through basically everything you need to know about registering your company, the pros, the cons, and kind of what you need to know and go through. So let's imagine you make $100,000 this year, right? You have $100,000 and you have $50,000 in profit. If I have a sole ownership, I'm going to get taxed 35% on that $100,000. So before you even spend any money, you're already getting taxed like an employee. 35%, boom, right off the top. 35% on the $100,000. If I have a corporation, I'm going to get taxed 21% on the profit, on the $50,000. Well, you as a smart business person, you're not going to keep 50 grand in the bank, right? We're going to spend the money. Labor, tools, materials, trucks, marketing, equipment, we're going to spend that profit. So if I have profit after I've spent the money, I'll pay 21% tax on that profit. If I don't have profit, I'm going to spend a minimum of about $800 on taxes. So that's like your minimum. Now, the second advantage why I always suggest to my students, get yourself a corporation, is your expenses. Let's imagine you buy a new $100,000 truck for your company, right? If I have a sole ownership, I'm only writing off 50% of that truck, only half of that truck. Versus a corporation, I can write off 100% of that truck that I bought for the business, right? The next step, again here, down to your deductions, right? Labor, tools, materials, trucks, marketing, spending that money, you get the full deductions on it. If I have a sole ownership, and let's imagine you get sued, something happens, like we're construction, like it might not be you that messed up, but maybe an employee or something happens, right? On the off chance something happens and you get sued or whatever, as a sole ownership, you're 100% liable. So they're not suing, Webb's Construction, they're suing Brandon, me, the individual. They're suing me, right? My name, my company, my house, my truck, my bank, my personal stuff, I'm involved in that lawsuit. I'm 100% liable. If I have a corporation, you're not suing Brandon, me, the individual. You're suing the business that I created, the corporation, right? So keeping yourself split from the company, because we live in California. If somebody can sue you, God knows they will, right? So protect yourself, protect your family, and protect the business in the corporation-wise to have the zero liability basically on yourself, right? The next thing that's really important is if you have partners, right? So let's imagine it's a husband and wife situation. They're in the business together and they're running the company. Let's say the husband down in San Diego, he's bidding jobs and doing work, and there needs to be a bid submit up in, call it Los Angeles, right? If the husband, the one person, is the only one on the business, that's the only person that can submit that bid. So if you're working in San Diego and the bid has to go out in LA, you have to go give that number and give the bid. Nobody else can do it. It's illegal if somebody else gives that number. If you have a partner, a spouse or whoever on your company with you, the partner can now give that number and give that bid. If I'm a sole ownership, it's you and you alone on the company. You're the only one that can share the numbers. When I give a bid or an estimate, I'm the person that can do it. I can't have anybody else do it for me. That's illegal. So cool advantage, if you have a corporation and you have partners or whatever, they can do that work. They can submit that bid for you because they're authorized through the state. They've done the background check, the fingerprints, they're on the license, so they can go ahead and give that number. Okay? So those are really the biggest advantages and pros and cons with sole ownership versus a corporation. I always suggest to my students, go corporation. Now, okay, Brandon, I want to protect myself, but I want to go LLC. Okay? So this question comes up a lot. In California, as a contractor, I do not recommend an LLC for a few reasons. As a contractor in California, the bond requirement is kind of crazy for an LLC. So for an example, for the corporation and the sole ownership, same thing, the only thing required by the state is a $25,000 bond. It's the only thing required. Now, yes, if you are doing tree work or concrete or like roofing, you have to have workers' comp, but we're not talking about that right now. This is just like the bond-wise, right? The only thing required as a corporation or sole ownership is a $25,000 bond. Typically, it's going to run you, $350 for the year, give or take, right? As an LLC in California, the state is going to require you to have a $25,000 bond. They also require you to have a $100,000 bond per person in the business. So if you have 2 people in the company, you're now looking at $225,000 in bonds. The last thing they require is a $1 million commercial general liability insurance. So, hey, Brandon, I don't do commercial work. I'm a residential remodeling. Well, you still got to have the $1 million commercial general liability insurance, regardless. You have to pay all these things before your license is active. So, yes, you passed the exams, good job. Now you got to get the $25,000 bond, the $100,000 bond, and the $1 million commercial general liability insurance before you even activate the license and start doing work. So it's a lot more overhead, a lot more money we're already throwing out just to get these insurances so you can start working. So with that alone, I always suggest to my students, go for the corporation, get the corporation. The requirement wise is so much less. The only thing is a $25,000 bond. It's not crazy, right? Everybody has to have it anyway. So, that's that's what I think about getting the corporation versus a sole ownership versus an LLC. If you guys have any questions, you want to know more, or you want help setting up a business, we also do that as well. Give me a call, 951-694-6000. I hope this video helped explain sort of why I always suggest corporation over any entity here in California as a contractor. Again, my name is Brandon. If you guys have any questions, I can definitely help you out.